Good afternoon. Thanks for joining me for today's Lunch and Learn. I'm Keith Armour. I'm the Education and Homework Support Manager down here in the Adult Learning Center at the main library. We all survived the crane being delivered last week. We are replacing all sorts of different things down here at the main library. But what we're not replacing is the Lunch and Learn. And today's Lunch and Learn is all for educator resources, and it is for the middle school and high school teacher. So we're going to take a deep dive in that, and then I'll tell you a couple of things that are happening around the library. All right, let's go ahead and jump in.
All right, all of you educators, middle school and high school teachers, we are at our website, cincinnatilibrary.org. We're going to come over here in the Quick Find section and click on Educator Resources. Now, don't forget, you can also apply for an educator card, and you'll find out all of the information about applying for an educator card here. You can even have a teacher collection that you pick up at your local branch based on the different themes or the different genres that you want to be having in your classroom. There is even school delivery at a lot of different schools. There's a comprehensive list that's right here in the teacher collection area, so you check to see if your school already participates, because that's going to save you a little bit of time. If your school doesn't participate, get 5, 6, 7 teachers together and see if they'll also get teacher collections, and you can have school delivery. It just really makes it a lot better having that school delivery. So there's educator card information here. And then, of course, with student cards, this is perfect for middle school and high school educators, because then you can use your educator card to get those student cards that then your students will have access to Overdrive, and the Overdrive materials are just wonderful. They have content for e-books and also e-audio books as well. Now we're going to scroll down here, and we're going to go over here to LinkedIn Learning. Now LinkedIn Learning, of course, has all those wonderful video tutorials about software and business and everything, but it also has a lot of information for educators. Now, I'm not going to click up here, but I'm going to click right here because I've already logged in. Now, when you do click on that LinkedIn Learning site, a window will pop up and you'll have to put in your library card number and your PIN. You can use your educator card or you could use your personal card. Now, if you open it up, you're going to be right here and you'll see the top picks. I went ahead and selected some top picks for middle school and high school educators. There's some right there. Here is creating multimedia learning, complex topics, those kind of things. Now, if you want to find more, even teacher tech tips, if you come right up here, right next to the logo, there's a browse section. You click there. And of course, you see all of the different software for human resources, career development, where there's a section right here for training and education. And there's one for K through 12 education. Of course, there's all of the software down here. You can find out more information. If your school went to Microsoft 365, you might want to take a little tutorial here. And of course, what's great about it is that you can bookmark. You can bookmark those tutorials, and you could even scroll through. So say you know how to do a whole bunch of stuff, you could go ahead and go to the next section without having to wait. And it will save your work as you go. All right, so we're going to go back, and I am going to go to a different section. I'm going to click here. Now I do want to point out, when you go to research databases here, there's a lot of points of interest, and for middle school and high school, there are so many different areas that you can look into. You can look into, of course, education is going to have a lot of different information there for you. Magazines and newspaper articles, you can search a great many newspaper and magazines and the articles, but also the actual magazines themselves. But we're going to go to homework help, because there's some sections on here, there's some sites on here that really will help a middle school or high school teacher. Now we're going to scroll down. We are going to come back to homework help because I do want to point out something for there. But we're going to come right here to middle search plus. And this is for a middle school teacher, an educator. And you'll notice that when you click in here, it's like, there's a lot of stuff on here that I'm not quite sure what I want. And I think after you do this search many times, you'll want to go ahead and maybe choose the different reading level that you're really trying to target for your middle school students. You can also look if you want just full text articles. You can also do a quick view of different things as well down here. But let me demonstrate. I'm going to type in hurricanes and it pops up there so I don't have to spell it all out. Now you'll notice that there are 8,679 entries in with the topic just hurricanes. Now of course over here I can eliminate some by just saying I want a full text article. I can also change the dates here. It goes all the way back to 1985, all the way to the present 2021. You can see the different source types from newspapers to country records. And then of course you can also look by subject, publication, publisher, and even language. Now, you'll notice there's some different things, HTML, full text for this one. And this was an article that was written 2 years ago from July, August episode of Discover magazine for July and August of 2019. Here is an article that's also got a PDF full version, and that's from US News and World Report, and that is from last year, September the 20th. Now I'm going to scroll down and I want to find something. Ooh, this one looks interesting, especially for middle school students. It says, blowing the wind, scientists investigate whether hurricanes can change how lizards grip. Now this was written back September of last year. We're going to click right here. Now I'll notice that this is coming from Science World and some other information here, and there's lizards, but it's mainly about hurricanes. So I'm going to click over here for the PDF full text version. Now what's going to happen is another window will pop up. It's going to load in the article, and you'll notice right here it's showing me, I think a middle school student would be interested in this article right away, just simply because of the title, Blowing in the Wind, and that poor little lizard is just holding on to that end. But here's the article, and you'll notice it's not really in depth, but there's a lot of information here. It's in color. There's some maps here, and there's even how they tested. If their test was correct and they're losing their grip. And then even ways to extend the learning by investigating it. And of course, it's coming from Science World. Now, for this article, I could do a lot of things. If I have some type of projector, a smart TV, a smart board, a projector in the classroom, I could, of course, project this and have different students reading different sections as we do it. I could also print it out right here and right over here. Now you'll notice this is Google Drive. I could add it right to my Google Drive. I could even put it right in a folder. Maybe I want several articles about hurricanes. And, ooh, I like this one, but I don't want to look at it now. I want to save it and put it over here. I could even have a link. So if you have direct communication with parents or with students, you can provide a link to the article and they could read it before class and then be prepared to answer several questions, even on a quiz about the lizards blowing in the wind. So this gives you a lot of information. You can of course even make it even bigger just in case you want to project it. And there it is. There's the whole article and you can talk about it right there in class. So that is middle school, middle search. And I'm going to go back one. Let me go right here. There we go. Now, there's also opposing viewpoints and context, and that is a lot of social issues. There's two differences here. This one, you have to use your library card. So when you click on it, that window is going to pop up, and maybe your students don't have a library card. Now, points of view here, they can have access to those points of view, and there's over 400 topics there and over close to 2,000 essays. There's primary search, but that's for the primary teachers. All right, and World Book Advanced. Let's click right on there. Now, World Book Advance is the old encyclopedia put online. And you'll notice that they have a little scroll feature here that's going to highlight something different each time. And you can see right here, there's the Olympic Games, there's Hiroshima, the Wizard of Oz. I'm going to type in, oh wow, that's what I wanted to type in. I'm going to type in wildfires, but I'm going to click on visit this article. So here is going to give me a great picture, well, not for the individuals that are involved in the fire, of course, but a very dramatic picture. And then this poor family taking refuge. And you can hear, you can even listen to the article. Once again, lots of pictures here. Okay. But let's go back and let's type in hurricanes here on the encyclopedia. Now, here are several different things here, but I want to click right here. So there's hurricanes. Now, I want you to notice what's up here. You've got the article. You've got curriculum and standards. For all you educators, I'm going to click there. It already goes right to Ohio standards. And you'll notice it starts out for 3rd grade, and you can actually change it for different subjects, and also you can change it for K through 12 on here as well. All the media that's involved in this article are here, and also maps, and here's the video and the audio. And you could even have related articles here as well. And here are the primary sources, and those are things that you, as a middle school and a high school teacher, are going to be talking about as those primary sources. And even ebooks that might be in our collection. I won't guarantee they're in our collection, but there are some books there. All right, so we're going to go back to the article. And what I loved about the encyclopedia when my parents bought it for our family, it just has great pictures. Of course, this is a hurricane that is heading towards, it looks like it's going to be a devastating hurricane. You can, of course, listen to the whole article. Each section has different words that you can click on and learn a little bit more. It even has really good video, too.
The most devastating hurricane of this century to whip the Gulf Coast roars toward Texas and Louisiana. Workers rush to board up what they can, as more than 400...
So you can show this on your projector, on your smart TV or your smart board. You can even listen to hurricane winds. I think that's one of the reasons I love living where I do. I don't have to worry about a hurricane. I can, of course, look at the famous recent hurricanes here, and I can even click on these pictures. Here is a picture of Sandy as it hits Connecticut. Here is a nice surface picture of showing you the eye and the hurricane clouds, and even a side view of the hurricane as well. Okay, and if I click right there, I can actually look at the information, but I can even print this too. And of course, I can get the citation as well. And I can save it to my research because there's a section that you can save this information to. But printing this out for your students to actually look at, and even in a small group, would be really, really helpful in the classroom. Okay. And once again, a lot of areas where you can just click. And here's a map of the different areas of storm activities and the different typical storm tracks as well. So you got the typhoons here, the cyclones, the hurricanes over here. And you could even have a group studying cyclones and a group studying hurricanes and find out what they have in common and what makes them a little bit different as well. So this is a great resource. Don't forget the encyclopedia of your youth. If you're, well, you're definitely probably younger than me, but you definitely want to use this wonderful World Book Advanced right there at right there on the website. So I'm going to scroll back, go back one more. And I do want to point out you should have your library card for the World Book Advance, okay? And your educator card would work well on that. Okay. Now I do want to point out one thing before we go, and that's with homework help now. This is for kindergarten all the way up to the college level. And of course, they always are very good about telling us when the live tutoring will not take place. And that's for Labor Day coming up in a couple of weeks for September the 6th. But tutors are available from 2 until 11, 7 days a week. So if you have a parent or a guardian or caregiver that says, hey, my student needs a little help. Well, first of all, they can definitely use the computers in the libraries, or if they have a device at home, they can get live tutoring on different subjects. So if you click here, and then you choose the subject, say we're going to choose 10th grade, then you'll notice that there's algebra, there's all sorts of different topics here, and then it opens up to a whiteboard where you're communicating with the tutor through visuals and also through text messaging back and forth. And it's very helpful. Now, there's the writing lab here. I'm going to go back one. Let me go back to the main page. Then the writing lab is here. And this would be a good resource if you are trying to teach your students how to improve their writing. They could even upload their writing here from the computer, and then they could have an expert take a look, give a rubric score on how they can improve their writing. They're not going to write the paper for them, but they are going to help find different mistakes as well. Then you've got Skill Surfer, and that's the last thing I want to show you. Now you've got middle school here, and you'll notice that goes from 6th grade all the way up to 8th grade, and the subjects are reading, writing, math, science, and social studies here. Now if I want to do geography, I'm going to click here, one of my favorite subjects. You've got, here are different flashcards for different geography for the middle school student. You also have world map and oceans here. So if you need a quick map, there it is. There's a quick map of North America, South America. So you don't have to pull one out. You can just have it right there to project right on your screen. And then of course there's even mapping activities here. Now for you middle school math teachers, say you are teaching 7th grade math, here are all the different, you've got ratios, you got number system, expressions, geometry, and then a whole bunch of flashcards down here as well that project really, really well on your projectors. And then of course high school, it goes from reading, writing, math, science, social studies, and then even AP exam prep. Okay, so definitely check that out. All of these resources are very, very helpful. I'm going to go back to the main page, and go to research databases again, I do want to point out that you might want to, especially middle school and high school teachers, checking out the other information such as history, biographies, encyclopedias over here, magazines and newspapers. But there's all sorts of information that you really would be very helpful in a classroom setting. Let's go to events real quick before we end. Tomorrow, we're going to have outdoor office hours with our writer in residence, and that's over at Blue Ash from noon until 1. You can have a stress relief, a stress ball. You can create one of those over at Avondale from 3 to 4. Oh, one of my all-time favorites over at Westwood. They're having Deer Day, and deer means drop everything and read, and that's from 3 to 4. And don't forget, just because school is back in session for a lot of you all, and I'm talking educators and students, please continue to do a little bit of pleasure reading, reading that's just for you. And if you want to drop by Westwood, especially if you're a child or a teen, you can have Deer Day tomorrow. From 3 to 4 at Westwood. There's Medieval Times that is happening. There's only 2 seats left over at North Central. You have to check our event calendar all of the time. Here's one, story time at the park, Seven Gables Park. That's from 10 until 12 on Saturday. Oh, nope, to take that back, that's on Monday. All right, I'm going to click out, tell you a few things, and we'll call it a day.
All right, that was all of our resources. Well, really not all of them. We just didn't have enough time to show all of the resources that we have that would really help an educator, a middle school and a high school teacher. So definitely check out our website. There's so many resources there. It's just unbelievable. Now, next week for Lunch and Learn, what we're going to do is we're going to review the mini classes that are happening in the Adult Learning Center, both virtually and a few that are in person. So definitely check us out next week for Lunch and Learn, and have a great weekend. All right.